Stranger Things is a Netflix series who took inspiration from many enduring 80s movies and created both a nostalgic and heartwarming classic that instantly gained a beloved fanbase. I was admittedly late to get on the Stranger Things bandwagon, but after completing the series a few weeks ago, I can happily state that I love this series. But that shouldn't be surprising. Despite not growing up in the 80s, I went through a major obsession with films of that time period when I was younger. However, although the nostalgic feeling the series gives is what attracted me to this show, I soon discovered a major amount of depth to the writing and tone. If you've seen the show, you'll know that the series follows 3 separate storylines: the children, the teens, and the adults. Each one has a different reaction and perspective to their situations, while having their own feel and also help contribute to the overall story. What really makes you invested is how it brings you back to the mindset you had as a child. What would you be willing to believe as a kid? When Will goes missing, his friends are left to think up what might have happened to him in their own imaginations. If you take a few glances around Mike's room, they are clearly into monsters. It's easy to assume that they might consider a monster as a possible answer for Will's disappearance. Given the mind of a child, Stranger Things takes a conspiracy about demons and makes it a reality. It also uses children's imagination as a way to explain complicated science. When the teacher talks to Mike and his friends about alternate universes, he doesn't explain it in complicated science terms, because he's talking to kids, comparing it to their board game instead. Where does the demigod come from? Just turn the board upside down. Everybody who's seen the show understands it instantly. Their storyline is a lot more innocent and childlike, similar to films like E.T., and can act as an adorable and enjoyable time amongst the serious grit from the other storylines. And so having the show allow us to refer back to our younger selves makes for a very unique sense of nostalgia that goes beyond a few references to the past, but you genuinely feel like a kid again, enjoying the simple things while trying to figure out the bigger picture. The second storyline involves Jonathan, Nancy, and the most likable prick ever, Steve. It's more of a suspenseful horror. It's no secret that the stereotypical teenager loves watching 2 types of genres: romance and horrors. This storyline provides both. At the beginning, Nancy and Steve are living in the sappy love story. They're oblivious, they're self-centered, they're, well, teenagers. But then the inclusion of Jonathan and following the disappearance of nerdy sidekick allows the tone to transition into something more sinister. Whereas children attempt to understand the big picture, Nancy and Steve have to learn that there even is one, instead of behaving so carelessly. However, that isn't the show's main contribution. It also effectively adds to the overarching plot by raising the stakes. The teenagers witness the danger of the Demigorgon and therefore shows how much danger Will is in. When Nancy is chased down by the Demigorgon, it is terrifying, and coming to the realization that a child is suffering the same as her all the way through the show just adds a very suspenseful element. The chase is on to see who finds Will first, and because of the horror portrayed in the teenager's storyline, you feel like that it's a life or death situation. Also, as a side note, can we appreciate how cool Steve is? The only reason I was mad that him and Nancy got back together again was because it means that I can't fuck him. And then there's a storyline involving Joyce and Hopper. They are the emotional center of the show, a reminder of how tragic the situation is, and really makes you, as a viewer, desperately want Will to be safe. Joyce, despite her actress trying way too hard to make the audience cry, is effective in a majority of her scenes. Her storyline is certainly more of a drama or thriller, and despite the supernatural elements, it's treated as a very realistic portrayal to how what losing your son can lead to. Hopper is a detective who really helps reveal the government's plan that essentially adds legitimacy and a sense of realism to the world of Stranger Things. However, due to his tragic backstory concerning his own child's death, it's for this reason that it means so much to him that he is able to save someone else's kid, and just makes Will's rescue even more of a triumph. And so all 3 storylines help add something to the show: adventure, horror, and emotion. It shows the events from completely different perspectives, and therefore allows you to come to the realization, or just people in general, the fact we all behave differently in similar situations. People, especially from different age groups, have very different perspectives, effectively giving the viewer the chance to gain a huge understanding of empathy. And that's truthfully what any film or TV show should try and do, Stranger Things being one of the best to do it. When the monster is attacking, you know how dangerous this thing is because of the encounters it's had with the teens. When Eleven sacrifices herself, we feel for the situation, and when Will is saved, it shows how much this means for both Joyce and Hopper, that we can't help but be relieved ourselves. The ending is an overwhelming display of emotion. The fact the ending isn't as happy or as uplifting as you might have expected really catches you off guard as well. Emotion is clearly something Stranger Things is very good at expressing, and one of the show's biggest strengths is how it shows the importance of support. Eleven has lived in a stoic and unforgiving environment, and so when she experiences the innocence and compassion for her new friends, she is able to find the right motivation to stop the Demogorgon. Nancy and Steve learn to actually care, or at least tolerate others once Jonathan calls them out for their bullshit, and build a stronger understanding of empathy for those around them. Hell, Jonathan also learns to support his mother and take her feelings into more consideration. And Hopper learns how supporting others in their journey can make him feel better when he saves Joyce's son. Basically, a common theme is showing how support can lead to bigger and greater things for those who help and those that you do help. And if you want to know what a human being that has no intention of supporting others looks like, take a look at Joyce's husband. The theme of supporting each other is also the main reason they are able to achieve their goal. Each storyline has one piece of the puzzle, but can't seem to figure out everything, except for Eleven, who sadly can't communicate well enough to fully explain everything. But when every storyline collides and decides to work together in the school, only then do they finally find Will. Stranger Things perfectly combines very different genres, characters, and emotions to create a very unique mystery while showing the qualities that separate the best of us from the worst of us.
And it goes a little something like